Hey Gemini, what's up gang? I hope everybody is well. So I wanted to come through with a how spirit sees you. We haven't done that in a while, so let's just check in. If that's something that interests you, do stick around. Gemini, if you're new to this channel, welcome. My name is Jessica. Please take a look at my description box because that's going to have all the information that you would need to know. And yes, this is a Gemini channel. However, if you vibe, you tribe, so go ahead and make yourself comfortable. Gemini, if you're returning, welcome back. I hope that you're well. Hope you're taking care of yourself. I do hope that you're doing what's best for you, boo. Thank you for all the love, all the support. Gemini, thank you for all the good vibes. It really does mean the world, okay? All right, guys. So let's go ahead and just get into this. We're going to pull from a lot of intuitive decks and probably not going to pull from tarot, okay? So just take everything as it resonates. And as I said the last time I did this, this is just my interpretation. It's what's coming down from spirit through me. If at any point in this reading you do not agree or you do not resonate, that is absolutely okay. Everybody is here with their own interpretation and own connection to spirit, okay? Just want to make that very clear. I am not the voice of spirit. I am just one of the vessels it uses to give out messages, okay? That being said, we have the yin-yang energy, Gemini, and I wanted to look up the literal meaning of the yin-yang, and it says it is a Chinese philosophical concept that describes how opposite forces are interconnected and create a balance that's always changing. Okay, meaning yin yang are complementary but opposing forces that interact to create a dynamic system. The whole is greater than the sum of its parts, and the parts are important to the cohesion of the whole. Okay, so some examples are hot and cold, day and night, health and disease, dark and light, female and male, and soft and hard. Okay, the yin yang is commonly represented by the yin yang symbol, a circle made up of black and white. All right, yeah, so basically that's what I'm getting, Gemini, and I feel like, yeah, that actually describes Gemini energy very strongly. We do have a lot of light and dark aspects. There are some opposing forces within us that actually work together to make one well-oiled machine, if you will, okay? So Gemini, another message I'm getting here is spirit sees you as somebody right now that is trying to balance opposing forces within yourself. There could be this energy of maybe you find yourself in two minds about things or wanting to go in this direction, but also feeling pulled in this direction. There could be light aspects to yourself, and there could also be dark aspects, right? And so I feel like spirit sees you as somebody who is trying to maintain a balance or trying to cultivate some kind of balance here. I also feel like spirit sees you as somebody who's searching for a deeper meaning right now, whether that's in life or yourself or your situation, why you're here, what this all means. You know, why have you gone through what you've gone through, Gemini? Why have you experienced what you've experienced? I just get this energy of spirit seeing you as somebody who's looking for answers. Spirit could see you as somebody who is trying to connect with it in a deeper way, okay? Or trying to connect with some kind of higher power in a deeper way. Something besides yourself, something that can help you, you know, form some kind of rhyme or reason for life and why you're going through the things that you've went through. I just get this energy of you, yeah. I was like, is that the octopus I just saw? Yes. I just get this energy of you reaching for the deeper concepts of life and what it all means, okay? So I feel like spirit sees you as somebody who's possibly really reflective right now. Maybe somebody who is going through a whole deconstruction of their belief system. And, you know, maybe you went down your whole life on one path kind of believing a very similar concept, and now everything is kind of fragmented and you're trying to put the pieces together. That's for some of you guys. Spirit could see you as somebody who's went through something very impactful recently, something that has kind of opened up your eyes or changed your entire worldview or your entire view of life and people and even yourself, okay? Some of you guys could have went through a moment where your faith was really shooken, okay? Or a moment where maybe you didn't even feel that close to spirit, you know? There could have been this energy here of really having to pull on your own inner strength and having to form a connection with yourself above anything else, which coincidentally or not so coincidentally enough has led you back to spirit, okay? So some of you guys, spirit sees you as somebody who's went on a very deep journey within. And it didn't always look pretty on the outside as the energy that I'm getting, okay? I also feel like Spirit sees you as somebody who has chosen to learn the hard way. And this does not necessarily mean you have a hard head, Gemini, although you might, okay? Hard head gang, right? Coming through. I'm definitely a member of that. But I feel like there's more than that. It's like your soul wants to learn things the hard way. You want to be as strong as you can be. You are an overachiever, it feels like, in spirit form. Like, like when your soul was on the other side and you were making up your contract, you're like, well, how much can we squeeze in one lifetime? I feel like there's an energy here of you wanting to learn as many lessons as you can, experience as many things as you can experience. And it's been tough. It's been really hard. And I feel like it's exhausting. And so Gemini spirit could see you as somebody who's a little bit exhausted by the experience of life. But that's because you've piled so much on your plate. It's like you go to a buffet and you see all these wonderful, unique and different foods. And you're like, oh, I want to try that. And I want to try this. And I want to try this. And then by the time you get back to your table, you look down at your plate and you're like, okay, my stomach, or my eyes were definitely bigger than my stomach, right? Yeah, it's like you want to experience so much, Gemini, because maybe there is an element of being a teacher here within you, You experience life, and so that way you can help others experience life. It's funny because I was just talking about this in a personal today about, people who map caves. Somebody has to go into the cave first, and it's scary. It's a terrifying, tight, dark place where it's not so easy to turn around. And if you get yourself caught up, that can be very detrimental. It can be final, right? But somebody has to do it. Somebody has to go through and map those caves so other people can then go into the cave. And Gemini, you could be the type of person that's how Spirit sees you, as somebody who's willing to have the first experience, somebody who's willing to do something first, be the first one to, almost a sacrificial lamb in a sense, but not necessarily to harm yourself, but to show others that it's possible, or that it can be done, right? Or that you can do better. You don't have to stay in the circumstances that you were born into. You don't have to believe the things that were taught to you. You can go out and you can form your own sense of truth, and you can create your own life for yourself, Gemini. Some of you guys might have moved away from home at an early age, or when you did finally leave, maybe you just moved far away from people. Or even if you live in the same town as your family, Gemini, maybe you're just not close to them. I don't know, but for some of you guys, you definitely have traveled and went to far off places, and so there could be a sense here of like, you're like a helicopter seed, right? From my aesthetic 2 deck. You are not meant to just grow wherever you land. You're meant to travel, and grow where Spirit wants you to grow. So some of you guys have definitely been on a journey. I'm getting like a nomadic type of energy here, or maybe living off the land, or isolating yourself a little bit. It's definitely giving like hermit vibes, guys, okay? So let's pull some animal cards. These are not power animals. These are just animal messages for how Spirit sees you. And we will be reading from the book, okay? So Spirit, how are you seeing Gemini currently? How are you seeing Gemini, gang, currently, Spirit? We have the earthworm. I want to get all of them out and then we'll read. How are you seeing Gemini currently? We have the otter. That card loves to come out when we're talking about how Spirit sees you. The eternal optimist, Gemini, right? Like the eternal optimist, the eternal, child, as it were, always willing to learn new things, always willing to try new things, always willing to kind of look on the bright side, even when you've been hurt. Maybe you have a big heart, Gemini, and some of you guys might feel like it's a curse to have a big heart. Why do I have to feel so much? Why do I have to love so deeply? Why do I have to care about people so deeply when it's so obvious that people don't feel the same way, right? But you have a big heart for a reason. And I feel like there's something about Spirit watching you. Like I get this energy of Spirit loving to watch you, Gemini, and watch you spread your joy and laugh and joke, and how deeply you love. Like there's something that it feels really emotional, like it feels really good. What else? Let's get one more, Spirit, for how you're seeing Gemini currently. One more, please. How are you? Okay, you have the bear. I love bear energy. So the bear talks about coming out of a deep spiritual slumber. Okay, the bear is the energy here of having went through a dark night of the soul, having went through a lot. Okay, being in the darkness, which is interesting because the earthworm is also an animal that you will find in the darkness, right? But the bear is talking about where you're ready now to explore, you're ready to get out into the sun, you're ready to stretch your bones, and you're ready to grow and laugh and play, and you're excited about what the future holds. In fact, both of these animals here are looking this way. It's almost like you see some potential off in the distance, or Spirit sees you as somebody who is looking forward to their future, looking forward to the prospects that are out there and what life can bring to you, what the future holds. You're very optimistic right now. I feel like Gemini, Spirit sees you as somebody who's done a lot of healing, a lot of inner work, a lot of shadow work, and therefore it's like you've healed this deep, dark part of yourself that maybe used to hold you back, maybe used to make you feel a little insecure, because I can see that with the worm energy. The worm is talking about an amateur that is meant to master something. Like, you are quite valuable to this planet, Gemini, and to the whole scheme of things, okay? I feel like maybe there's been a lot of energy of people undermining you, or a lot of people, kind of counting you out or not seeing your full potential here. Underestimating you is really the energy that I'm getting. And I feel like Spirit wants you to know that when it comes to the spiritual side, like on the other side, you pack a very strong punch here. There's something that you do, Gemini, whether this is a skill, talent, hobby, whether it's something that's just within you. You have a pearl here, whether this is just a pearl of wisdom. And the pearl is created from irritation, from sand or grit or whatever the hell gets inside the oyster, and the oyster works to try to get it out, I guess, but I know that it's like irritating to the oyster, and that's what creates the pearl. So all of the hardships that you've went through in your life is what's made you who you are, and Spirit sees you as somebody who has created a pearl out of your hardships, okay? And again, there's also something that you're learning that maybe you don't see your own potential in at the moment, but I feel like that's starting to shift for you, okay? So the worm looks at other people and goes, oh, they're so much smarter, they're so much more advanced, they've been doing this longer, they have more credentials, they're this, they're that, and doesn't see the value within itself. But since this is the first card, I want to say that this is energy that Spirit sees you shifting out of here. Okay, I feel like Spirit sees you shifting out of this energy of not believing in yourself. I feel like there's something that's shifted or transformed within you that's caused you to see something on the horizon that might be potential for you. Okay, I feel that very strongly. We're gonna go with the earthworm. Yay, the first one. So the earthworm says, shy, hesitant, reluctant to share inner visions. We have all felt the woes of the earthworm at some point along the way. The earthworm indicates a newbie or a novice working to establish confident. I already fucked it up. Okay, a novice working to establish confidence in a new field. Others around you may seem wise and experienced, but it's important to remember that they once felt the earthworm energy too. This card is a reminder not to be intimidated nor to lose hope. Mastery takes time and you're on the right track. Besides, rumor has it, it's a beginner's mind that offers the most valuable insights. When in balance, earnest, intelligent, and valuable. When out of balance, self-conscious and apprehensive. To bring into balance, speak up or risk embarrassment. I'm also hearing start something new. And when I get the earthworm energy, I always hear that quote, the amateurs built the Ark and professionals built the Titanic, and we kind of know how those situations worked out. It's almost this energy here, Gemini, of, Spirit seeing you gaining more confidence within yourself, right? There could definitely be this energy here where you see others around you that are maybe doing something where you feel like they're making more progress, or you might feel like they're more advanced or more experienced. You could feel like a little bit of a newbie or a novice, even in regards to life. Like, you might feel like you're stumbling around and you don't know what the hell you're doing half the time. But Spirit wants you to know that you are definitely on the right path here. And this card is a reminder here to not be intimidated or to lose hope, that mastery does take time. And again, you are here to master something. You are here to create this pearl. Some of you guys, again, there's this teacher element. I'm really surprised that the cobra that we saw didn't actually come out, because the cobra talks about a teacher. And I feel like that's something that you are gearing yourself up for. Some of you guys are in this lifetime to be able to be ancestors or to be spirit guides in the next lifetime or a next couple lifetimes. And you can't sit here on the other side and guide people through trauma if you've never experienced it yourself. Sometimes I feel like Spirit is not necessarily out of touch, but there's levels to this, right? Like, when I tap into ancestors, I feel like they understand completely the human plight because they've been humans before, right? And spirit guides, it's the same. A lot of spirit guides have definitely not really incarnated for a minute, it feels like sometimes. They still kind of can empathize with the human plight. But for Spirit, it feels like Spirit sympathizes versus empathizes. Okay, so I feel like and this is just my own thing and what I've picked up with my connection with the divine. You guys have to lead yourselves here. But I always kind of feel like Spirit sympathizes with us. It can feel bad for us when we're going through things and we're hurting. It doesn't want to see us in pain. But it's just like, but it's going to be okay. Buck up. It'll all be all right. None of this is real. It's all temporary. It doesn't even matter. It's not even real. Why are you so upset? Just, and it's kind of like an out of touch feeling, like you don't understand. For us as humans here, it does feel very real, okay? So there's something here where it's like, I feel like that's why Spirit gives us guides and allows our ancestors to guide us, so we can have beings that really truly empathize versus sympathizes with our plight and what we're going through, okay? So I feel like that's how Spirit sees you, as somebody who is in the beginner's mind and ready to start something new and still stumbling around and still learning, but also somebody who is on the way to mastering something, which is really beautiful. Ooh, the otter, I just saw it. I'm on a rizzle when it comes to this book. All right, so the otter says obstructed joy, playfulness, and contentment. Unobstructed joy, meaning nothing can mess you, nothing can take away your joy, Gemini. Nothing can take away your happiness. Yes, you go through moody periods, right? Yes, there are times where you're down or you're a little salty. But at the end of the day, nothing can take away your joy. That's how Spirit sees you. It says, perhaps the most joyful creature within the animal spirit deck, the otter represents absolute bliss. Otter energy is the playfulness of a child, available to us at any time. They have this giddiness and reverence for life itself without the presence of doubt, worry, or skepticism. Imagine yourself with a little more otter energy. What would life look like? What would it take to bring you there? The otter card begs these questions and wants to transport us to that precious place as soon as possible. The celebration awaits. Ooh, I like that. So, when in balance, full of love and needs nothing. When out of balance, gloomy, sighs, or makes silly excuses. To bring into balance, dance party or celebration. I'm also hearing good friends with this one, okay? So Gemini, I feel like Spirit wants you to get ready because there's a celebration ahead. Like this pearl that you've been working on is almost there, buddy. And pearls are valuable. I don't know if you guys have ever watched those shows where they shuck the pearls out. They do it very humanely now. Like they can, get the pearl out of the oyster without actually harming the oyster, and the oyster can continue to create a new pearl. But some of these pearls are very valuable, okay? So there's something here where there's something of value that you're creating within yourself, and you're going to be celebrating this really soon. I feel like Spirit sees you as somebody who's joyful, somebody who doesn't let life get them down for too long. And, you have a big heart again, and there's like a reverence for life itself. You enjoy life. You enjoy good food. You enjoy good music. You enjoy good company. You like to make love. You like to laugh. You like to experience life, you like to have your heart pumping and feel excited. Some of you guys could definitely be like adrenaline junkies or something, or just really like to play, like to get out, be in the sun. There's this energy of like being awe-inspired by things, like if you were to go to, let's just say, a conservatory or something and see different plants and animals and butterflies, you'd be like, oh my God, look at that, and look at this, and look at that, and look at this, and you'd just be so excited, It's like, it doesn't matter how old you get or what age you are, you're still like this young child that's excited for life. And that's something that's beautiful, Gemini, okay? That is how Spirit sees your energy. Somebody who is so excited. I gotta let you know, like through this whole reading, I've been holding back crying. I've been holding back tears through this whole freaking reading because it just feels like I can feel the love that's coming from Spirit, and it's very reminiscent of like the love I would feel from my mom. Anyways, so this card begs the question, what could take you to this precious place? What can help you continue to feel this joy? Because we don't always feel this way, right? I mean, I feel like this is how Spirit's seeing you now, but maybe if we would have checked in like a couple weeks ago or something, there could have been this energy of, maybe Spirit didn't see you as so joyful and so happy. So I feel like when these times get us down, when we feel like this earthworm energy, we feel like a failure, we feel like we're never going to get there, we feel like some person that's just stumbling around, not knowing where the hell we're going. It's like, where can we go in our minds to take us to this joyful place. You know, all of us have like this inner, I want to almost call it like a security blanket or something, you know, like something that we can kind of reach to or grab onto that's going to, you know, make us feel secure and loved, you know. So what is that happy thought for you? It's like Peter Pan, right? What's your happy thought that's going to help you fly? Okay, let's get on to the bear. I think the bear might actually be at the beginning. Yep. Okay, bear was before the earthworm. All right, so we have waking from a spiritual slumber and beginning anew. After a long winter, the bear arises from a deep slumber. At first, the movement and effort are difficult, but the bear knows it's time to awaken and move towards the dawning light. The bear card represents an individual that's on the cusp of new directions and personal transformation. The initial weeks and months of this spiritual quest may feel tricky and cumbersome and full of obstacles. But you have no choice, bear. The winter wanes and the warmth of spring emerges and your transformation begins. When in balance, inner strength and yearning to grow. When out of balance, withdrawal, lethargy, and heaviness. To bring into balance, movement and exercise. I'm also getting like chronic fatigue for some of you guys. So some of you guys could definitely have chronic fatigue, or maybe you're anemic or something that makes you really tired, okay? But Gemini, Spirit sees you as somebody who's going through transformation and you don't really have a choice. Okay, Spirit sees you as somebody who maybe has been in a sense of slumber. You have been in a sense of maybe not really moving, or stagnicity for some of you guys. Even if every day you get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, you're working, you're going for jogs, you're this, here, there, everywhere. You're very active, especially with the otter energy. Spirit still sees you as somebody inside who maybe has been in the same place and you are transforming. Spirit sees you as somebody who's going through a spiritual quest that may feel a little tricky. You know, could feel like it's full of obstacles and it's just one thing after another and you're tired. I'm getting that energy with the bear, like feeling really tired. But Spirit also sees you as somebody who's continuing to push forward. You're showing some kind of fortitude and endurance here because maybe you feel like you have no choice, but also because the transformation is happening. The transformation is now, okay? So Spirit can see you as somebody who withdraws when you feel like it, right? There's a healthy balance here. You can be somebody who withdraws, but then you can also be somebody who's the life of the party. You can also be somebody who's extremely confident, and then at the same time, you can be somebody who's extremely insecure about what they're creating and who they are and how much of an impact that they make. I do feel like there's some kind of new beginning that's here for you, Gemini. Again, there's something where Spirit sees you, your energy is focused towards a certain direction, and Spirit wants you to know that that's because something is changing. Something is coming, you're transforming, you're growing, and I feel like Spirit sees you as somebody who's ready to move to a new direction, okay? You could even be ready to move, period. Like Spirit could see you as somebody who's ready to go to a new environment or go on a new adventure here, okay? I can see that. Let's get some more out here. We're gonna use the, what is this? The Soul's Lessons Journey cards. Spirit, how do you see Gemini currently? Let me get a drink of my water. Spirit, how do you see Gemini currently? We have forgiveness. That card loves to stay coming out, Gemini. Well, not this card in particular, but this concept of forgiveness, right? The concept of letting bygones be bygones. And it feels like you have a lot of people to forgive because there's probably a lot of people who counted you out, spit in your face, slapped you across the face, you know, jumped on your back. Okay, you know, hurt you, right? There's a lot of people who have probably done you wrong in your life, Gemini, but Spirit sees you on the path of forgiveness. And of course, this isn't everybody. There's going to be probably some people in our life that we're never going to be able to forgive, right? But I do feel like Spirit sees you as somebody who's capable of forgiveness, you know? And there's this energy here of also understanding that people are on their own paths, you know? Understanding that everybody has their own karma, everybody has their own path, everybody has their own trauma that they're working through, and how people treat you and what people do to you. It's not necessarily a reflection of you. It's not a reflection of what you deserve or what you had coming to you, okay, or who you are as a person. It's all about them, you know, and that's why one of my favorite teachers, Jesus, you know, when he's up on that cross, when he has every right, it would be completely valid to have hate in his heart and to condemn everybody. You know, I cannot sit here and say I would be as graceful as Jesus was up on that cross, right? But he says, forgive them because they don't know what they do. I don't know. He said that when he was on the cross or when he was getting ass beat. Something. At some point when he was catching that ass whooping, he was basically like, just forgive these idiots. They're ignorant. You know, they're ignorant. They don't know what they're doing, you know? And so you can't be angry at somebody who does not understand the repercussions of their actions, doesn't understand exactly what they're doing, right? Now, obviously that doesn't resonate for everybody. You got to take it as it resonates for you. But I feel like Spirit sees you as somebody who's on the path of forgiveness and on the path of understanding and acceptance. And this also goes for yourself, because some of you guys are not necessarily upset with anybody. You are upset with yourself. You feel like you've made choices that you can't come back from. You know, you feel like you've fucked up your life, you know, as if life is something that you can get wrong. And that's where Spirit's perspective comes through, because Spirit doesn't see life as something that you can get wrong. Spirit sees life as something that you're experiencing. It's an experiment. None of this really matters at the end of the day. You have another go around if you want one, you know. Everything here is so temporary, right? And you can always make up for it in the next life, or you can always try again in the next life. So, again, it's a little bit out of touch. That's why I feel like, again, we have spirit guides and ancestors, because they understand, well, it feels very real. It feels like this is a decision that is going to impact me forever. And it's very final, right? But for Spirit, nothing is final. There's always a way, you know? So forgiveness says, I acknowledge that harboring resentment blocks the flow of love, Gemini. Right? And some of y'all could be like, you know, I forgive you, but I don't fuck with you, right? Like, I don't wish you any ill will. I hope you're happy and healthy from a distance, okay? Like, I don't want you right here next to me, but I do wish you the best in your life, like, you know? And I feel like there's many ways to look at forgiveness, okay? So for some of you guys, that's just how Spirit sees you, as this energy of learning how to forgive others and to forgive yourself, and maybe even to forgive Spirit, because some of you guys have not always had the best relationship with Spirit, right? We have worry on the bottom of the deck. It says, I am learning that worry doesn't change an outcome. It sure don't. And you know, as an air sign, we are going to be up in our heads. We are going to overthink. Telling an air sign to not overthink is like telling a fish not to breathe underwater and save it for when they're on land. You know, like, it's just impossible. That's part of our nature. But there is this energy here of you learning that worry doesn't change an outcome. And there can be this internal optimism here from learning that. You know, so that's what I'm kind of getting. And also with this orange energy here, it's reminding me of the sacral chakra, which is making me think about your confidence, you know, and I feel like that's something that you're working on here. What else do we have, Spirit? How do you see Gemini? I don't know how much time I have left as far as battery, or not battery, but storage. So I don't want it to be fast, but I also don't want to take too much time in case the video cuts off. How do you see Gemini, Spirit? Oh, Lord. Look, self-esteem. When she's on, right? I told you, okay? I feel like there's something here where you're working on your confidence. It says, I possess gifts of the soul that benefit me and others. And you do, Gemini, with that earthworm. That's the thing. My collective is full of talented, creative, ambitious, imaginative people. I mean, sometimes I read the comments and I am just like astounded by how creative, how innovative, you know, how talented you guys are. Oh, I'm a writer. I'm an artist. I'm a singer. I'm a dancer. I make candles. You know, I do woodworking. I have this. I have that. It's like there's so many different people here in this collective that are all doing something that benefits the world or benefits other people. You know, I have therapists and doctors and military and police officers and pizza makers and fucking psychics. You know, there's like all kinds of different people in this collective, and each one of you does something unique. Each one of you does something that helps the world. You do possess some kind of gift of the soul, something that was given to you, this pearl here, you know? And maybe some of you guys are just feeling like you're starting out, or it doesn't even matter. Some of you guys could be masters of something. You could be so good that you intimidate everybody around you, Gemini, and maybe you don't see it, right? But Spirit sees that. Spirit sees that you possess some kind of gift of the soul, right? And for some of you guys, again, you're easily able to help others or change the lives of others, and so that's why that's a very powerful energy, and you have to be careful with that, because you can change things for the good or change things for the bad. You know, you have a very powerful energy to you, and I feel like a lot of you like to use your powers for good, okay? But there is this energy here of Spirit seeing you as somebody who's quite valuable. Very valuable. Earthworm energy with the self-esteem, yes, extremely valuable to this planet. You know, I don't read for other signs. I mean, I know I have other signs in this collective, but I don't specifically read for other signs, so I can't say how Spirit feels about Scorpios and Sagittariuses and Libras and all them, but I can tell you that Spirit definitely has a soft spot for Geminis. You know, it created us a little bit different. A little bit strange, I'm not gonna lie. You know, we're not everybody's cup of tea. We're kind of like a shot of whiskey. But I feel like there's something that is helpful about that for somebody out there, okay? Somebody needs that shot of whiskey. Okay, what else do we have here, Spirit? One more card for how you see Gemini. How do you see Gemini currently, Spirit? Okay, we have love. It says, I commit to the practice of seeing the good in all things. Yeah, if I had to pick, I'd say forgiveness goes with the bear, right? Because you're coming out of this dark night of the soul where you've been through a lot, and you're learning to kind of let that go and transform and welcome this new beginning, this new day, right? You're ready to feel the warmth on your face for some of you guys. Some of y'all been locked away like Bruce Wayne in your bat cave here, like just, you know what I mean? That's just the energy I'm getting. And then self-esteem, I feel like, goes with the earthworm. And then love goes with the otter, you know? And some of you guys are committed to seeing the positive in everything. Maybe this isn't exactly the most positive situation, but damn it, we can survive, we can thrive, we can come back from this, you know? I feel like, if anything, you guys are great for encouragement. Like, you're like the cheerleaders, right? Even if you can't do that for yourself, which is why Geminis need a good cheerleader too, you know what I mean? Sometimes it's hard because we can get out there and rah-rah, shish kumbah and pump everybody else up, but then we'll sit back down on the bench like, you know, like, this shit is hard. So I feel like Spirit sees you as somebody who loves love too. Like, you know, you commit to trying to see the good in everything. Maybe not everybody, but you try to see the good in situations, but also somebody who loves love. Like, I see Gemini Spirit seeing you as somebody who is a little bit of a romantic, even if you don't necessarily want to admit that. You know, I feel like all of you want, not all of you, please take these readings as they resonate, because there's always going to be somebody that's like, no, fuck love, right? But I feel like the majority of you want to find somebody that you can feel safe with. You want to find somebody that you can, you know, run around the house with and cook and, you know, live your lives and go on adventures and make sweet love and have even sweeter arguments. You know what I mean? Like, you want to find somebody that you can settle down with. I feel like that's something that Gemini energy really craves. That's why I feel like that's why we are the lovers, you know? But Gemini, I feel like more than anything, you're learning how to give that love to yourself, you know? Purpose on the bottom of the deck. I know what I'm here to do. A lot of you guys, that is the mission this lifetime. It is finding purpose. It's creating purpose in your life, and it's fulfilling some kind of mission here. Your love has aged, Dusty Rose. Interesting. I feel like, yeah, your love has aged, Gemini. I feel like Spirit sees you as somebody who has changed and grown, right? Grown within yourself. I know the otter can't transform into a bear, but I almost feel like there's this energy here. There's like an evolution, you know, that I'm seeing. And so I feel like Spirit sees you as somebody who's growing every day and trying to learn how to be better than they were before. And I definitely feel like Spirit sees you as somebody who is creating a purpose for themselves. Somebody who wants to leave, I'm burping too, like, so purging energy, but wants to leave a legacy behind. Not just for your kids or your family, but for the world, Gemini. Okay, that's for somebody. That's not for everybody. All right, let's get some of this color. This is the color mage. We don't really use this deck very often, but when I pull on Spirit's energy, I like to give us more intuitive messages and less words, even though these do have some. Okay, so Spirit, how do you see Gemini? How are you seeing Gemini currently? How are you seeing Gemini currently, Spirit? We have turquoise, card number 59, spiritual empathy. Yeah, there's a lot of spiritual gifts and abilities here, Gemini. Like, you're very connected to the divine. So some of you guys definitely have, gifts and abilities, able to connect with spiritual beings, able to transcend and see beyond the veil. Some of you guys just know things, And there's also this energy here with spiritual empathy where you understand the plight of people. Like I was saying earlier with how spirit, I feel like, can sympathize but can't really necessarily empathize with what we're going through. There's this energy here of you are able to empathize with many different beings. You're able to empathize with the person who's just lost somebody significant to them. You're able to empathize with somebody who's had an illness. You're able to empathize with people who have lost everything, who have been homeless, who have been bankrupt, who have been at the end of their rope, who have been in just encapsulated by rage. Like, you're able to empathize with somebody who's been locked up. You're able to empathize with somebody who had shitty parents, just everything, anything that you can imagine. I feel like you've been through so much. Maybe not all of you have been through every single thing, but I feel like between all of us, everybody's been through every fucking thing you can think of. Okay. Some of the personal readings I get, it's like, I can't even believe some of the stuff that y'all went through, some of the stuff that you guys send me. So I feel like there's this energy here of like, this is no accident. This is no accident that you have been through so much, Gemini. Again, it's this teacher energy coming through. When I was getting my life coaching certificates, my instructor told me, he's like, how can you possibly pull somebody out of the pits of hell unless you have been there yourself? You have to be able to empathize with others. You have to be able to understand exactly what they're feeling in this moment, or else you're just basically spewing words at them that don't really mean anything, So Gemini, I tread lightly when I say things like this because I know some of y'all just don't even care. Like, I don't care. I'm exhausted, right? But this is why you have gone through so much, so you can spiritually empathize with other people. And that is extremely valuable, especially for my healers, for my teachers, for my light workers. It's extremely valuable to be able to empathize, okay? All right. Oh, okie dokie, Spirit. We have card number 30. It says Legion. Be a friend or an ally. Wow. That's that friend energy that I was picking up. I feel like it didn't come out on the bottom of self-esteem. I'm pretty sure it did. It's like you can break somebody down or you can build somebody up, Gemini. And I feel like a lot of you choose to build somebody up. You choose to be a friend, and Spirit sees you as that. Spirit sees you as an ally to not only humans, other people, but to it. You're working for the greater good out here. I know some of y'all are tired of being God's strongest soldier here out on these streets. Like, I get it, okay? Like, don't you have anybody else, Lord, that you could put on the front lines? That would be appreciated. But it's like Spirit does see you as an ally. And some of you guys, like, I'm getting like warrior energy, okay? So there's a lot of spiritual warriors here for sure. We have orange, card number 16, creativity and vitality. And I feel like that's something that encourages you, like, when you can encourage other people, again, because you have this spiritual empathy. A lot of you are empaths, so it's almost like your life is not your own in the sense of that you live through the experience of others. When other people are not doing so well, you don't feel great. When people around you are feeling good and everybody's high vibing and positive, well, then you feel really good too. I feel like it's very rare that everybody in the crowd is upset and you're like, yeah, well, fuck y'all, I feel wonderful, right? I feel like you kind of like, you feel everybody's everything. And so you want people to be high vibing. You want people to feel good. And this, yes, has gotten you into trouble. Of course it has, Gemini, because this is Earth. And, people are going to take advantage of you always. There's always going to be somebody that looks at you as an easy mark. There's always going to be somebody that looks at you and goes, oh, yeah, you're going to give, aren't you? You're going to give, and you're going to forgive, and you're going to love, aren't you? So that means I can take advantage of you, right? Well, wrong, okay? Because you have strong boundaries here. You've learned to have strong boundaries. So there's something here with that, Gemini, where Spirit sees you as somebody who's a friend not only to humans and people around you, but a friend to yourself, a friend to animals, a friend to the planets, okay, a friend to plants and the things that help the earth go round. You're just an all-around stand-up person. It's really the energy that I'm getting here, Gemini, okay? This is like such a head pump. Like, Spirit is definitely head pumping the hell out of you guys. Okay, card number 102. Okay, so 12. La Luna. Inner flow and cycle. I love that, actually, coming out on top of the bear energy, because the bear for me is talking about a cycle. You know, it's talking about this energy here of, you know, everybody goes through cycles in their life. Sometimes we're full, sometimes we're new, sometimes we're half. Sometimes we're, what is that? The little crescent, okay? We're not always full, though, and we're not always new, you know? And just like the moon, you go through cycles, too. Some of you guys could be really affected by the moon, and Spirit sees that. Spirit sees you as somebody who either comes alive during full moons or you're very tired. I feel like Spirit has noticed how the flow of life, the different seasons, the weather, the alignment of the planets. I feel like Spirit has noticed how these things affect you. And so Spirit sees you as somebody who's trying to connect to yourself and formulate some kind of inner flow here. We have the Cyan card number 58 on the bottom. It says, speak the truth at all times. Yeah, and I feel like you are willing to speak the truth, Gemini. Spirit sees you as somebody who is willing to say what needs to be said. But I also feel like Spirit has seen you as somebody who, as you've aged, you are more intentional with what you say. Like, you know, like back in the day, oh man, I used to have, you think I have a mouth on me now? I used to have a really bad mouth on me back in the day. I didn't have no qualms about cussing people out. Like, it, you know, listen, I'm just being real. You know, I was a little bit unhinged. But as I've grown older, I just don't care as much to prove my point. You know, I just don't care as much to make people feel bad because they've made me feel bad. In fact, I've found that me loving them regardless and moving on with my life and having positive things to say, even when they're saying not so positive things to me, kind of makes them feel bad anyway. It's like a 2-for-1 special here. But yeah, I just don't care as much to prove a point anymore, you know, because I'm really secure within myself. And I understand the flow of life. I understand that hurt people hurt people. So if you're hurting me, you're probably hurting inside, right? And while it's still hurting me, that doesn't mean that I'm going to take on your energy and hurt you back. Like, I've learned to be my own mountain here, where my energy is my energy, and you're not going to come in here and cause me to get all out of sorts, you know, freak out on you, cuss you out, lose my flow. Like, it's not happening, you know? I will definitely speak my truth. I will definitely tell somebody what the hell is up, but I'll do it in a way where it's not fueled by hate, you know? It's not fueled by anger. It's just fueled by just facts and truth. And this is what the situation is, you know? And while I do have very deep emotions that scare people, you know, I can be very deep. Deeper than a lot of people are willing to go. Shit, I've lost people with how deep I can be, and not even meaning to. I also recognize that when people walk away from me because of my deepness, it's not necessarily me they're walking away from. It's the emotion. It's the vulnerability. It's the nakedness, you know? Anyways, let's go ahead and keep it moving like Susan. One more, Spirit. Oh, okay, thank you. We have Canyon, card number 76, deep perspective. Yeah, Gemini, I feel like you're deep. I feel like there's a lot of philosophers here, or there's a lot of people who could be philosophers. You know what I'm trying to say. A lot of you guys could definitely write books, or you could do TED Talks or something, okay? You could definitely be the person at the little campfire that's telling the old stories and everything. Like, I feel like people like your mind, or they like to listen to you talk about life. They like to get your perspective on life. They like to hear about your life experience, especially since you've been through so much, right? And you're willing to teach others and show others. People like to listen to you, Gemini. And, you know, some of you guys have definitely been told before, oh, you think too much, you talk too much, you feel too much, you're too sensitive. It's not that deep. It's always that fucking deep, Gemini. And you don't have a problem going that deep either. Where other people, I feel like, do have a problem going deep, you don't have that problem, okay? And I feel like Spirit sees you as somebody who has a very deep perspective and, again, searches for the meaning in life, you know? Searches for the meaning of things. What does this all mean? Why are we here? Some people, it's just enough to get up every day, clock in at their job, eat some lunch, go home, right? Watch some TV and go to sleep. And that's all. Not a damn one time did they think during their day, what does this even mean? Why am I here? What did that number mean? Why did I find that feather? You know, why do I keep seeing this animal? You know, people can just go their whole life without even recognizing the whole spiritual shit that's going on around them. But for you, it's different. You know, you look at numbers and animals and the way the wind blows and why somebody said what they said, and it's like it's all so deep for you. It's all, there's a deeper meaning to things for you. It's not just as simple as we're here because my mom and my dad got it on and that's science. Now I'm here. And when I pass on, that's it. It's lights out and there's nothing else. Nothing happens. None of this means anything. That's just not you. Maybe that could have been you at one point in your life. You could have definitely went through that moment where you felt like that, but you've since gained a deeper perspective. And Spirit sees you as somebody who, again, is evolving every single day. And again, something has been deconstructed about your beliefs and you're constructing something new. Now, I want to end this on some words of encouragement from Spirit, just advice. If Spirit wanted to say anything to you right now, what would Spirit say? And I want to use this Apothecary, whatever deck, just because it's a favorite. I really like this deck. So Spirit, it's your time to shine, bro. What do you want to say to Spirit or to Gemini? What do you want to say? Okay, if you could say anything, what would you say? Keep trying. Keep trying, Gemini. Don't give up. Get out of your head. You know, Spirit had to throw that one in there. But card number 4, keep trying. And also know that you can heal. You can grow back whatever you lose. You are like a starfish. You lose a limb, you can grow a new one back and it's going to look better than ever. So Spirit wants you to keep trying. Keep trying on whatever you're trying to, you know, create, whatever you're trying to build, whatever you're trying to heal from, you know, physical, mental, spiritual, emotional, it doesn't matter. Whatever it is, don't give up, Gemini, okay? What else, Spirit? The illusion. Break through the illusion. Break through the fear that holds you back. You have the tools you need to conquer this fear. It's all in your head, right? In a sense. Prayers are going to be answered for you, even through the hardships of your life. And yes, hardships are real. And there could be real threats and stuff. Like if you go on the beach, you go out in the ocean, yeah, there could be a real ass shark that'll take a real ass bite out of you. That is not an illusion. But fear itself is an illusion, right? I don't know. I still haven't figured that one out. If y'all know what they're trying to say when they say that, let me know, because I'm like, how is fear an illusion if I'm really scared at the moment? You know what I mean? But I feel like it's because you're greater than your fear. But I feel like what this is talking about is that energy in your head that's telling you that you can't create something, you can't do something, this is all going to fall apart. Like the fears that you have in your brain that are telling you, that are tearing you apart, Gemini. I feel like that's what Spirit's saying with that. What else do we have here, Spirit? It's too many. What else do we have here? What do you, if you could say anything to Gemini right now, what would you say to Gemini? We have, you are about to shine. Gemini, you are about to shine. And this could definitely be in regards to your presence, the recognition that you're going to get, your gifts, your abilities that you possess that are meant for the world. Because when I look at the star, I'm thinking like a starfish, and you know, this armadillo here, they have this tough exterior to kind of keep people away, keep things out, right? To stay out of the light. And Spirit wants you to come out into the light with that bear energy for sure. So there's this energy here of don't stop doing whatever you're doing, Gemini, because you're going to gain some kind of recognition, or you're going to be seen. Like you are about to shine. You are about to break free of something here. And we have self-worth, self-love, self-value, and self-respect. So Spirit will want you to say that it's important to keep cultivating this relationship, keep nurturing this relationship that you have with yourself. You know, I say it a lot, guys, here and in the personals. I say it a lot. Your relationship that you have with yourself is the most dynamic, it's the most pivotal, it's the most important that you will have out of any relationship ever. Even with your children, even with your spouse, even with your parents. Your relationship with yourself is the most crucial relationship, because how you feel about yourself dictates every single move that you make, every single choice that you make, every single thought that you have, the things you go after, the things that you don't go after, the chances you're willing to take, the chances you're not willing to take. It all comes down to how you view yourself and what you feel like you're worthy of. So Spirit really wants you to put value and respect on your name, okay? Put some damn respect on it. See worth within yourself, love yourself, give to yourself, because you are valuable, Gemini, okay? And we have You Are More, card number 30. Oh, that was card number 11. Did I say the other one? Card number 26. Did I say this one? Damn. Card number 13. So 4, 13, 26, 11, and 30. Take these numbers as they resonate. So you are more. You're more than the challenges, and you're more than any kind of restrictions or barriers that you felt like have held you back. And you're more than any kind of box that you try to put yourself in as well. Don't limit yourself is what I feel like Spirit is trying to say. Okay, one more, Spirit. I feel like Spirit could sit here and talk to you for hours. We have Transformation, card number 42, and then we have Let Go and Bury It, card number 17. So if Spirit could say anything to you right now, Spirit would say, let go of anything that's holding you back, let go of anything that's siphoning off of your energy, and allow a transformation to come through, because you're meant for more than the circumstances that you have yourself in now. Allow yourself to be seen. Allow yourself to know yourself on a deep level, and not just in the light, but in the shadow too. Don't be ashamed of the shadow parts of yourself. You feel anger, you feel sadness, you feel ashamed, you feel rejection. These are part of yourself, and these are part of your journey, and these experiences are just as valuable as when you're in the light and you're feeling confident and happy and good, So keep trying, Gemini, all right? And keep allowing yourself to transform. All right, Gemini, that has been your reading. I do hope that it helps. I hope it resonates. I hope it does something. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.